Three, two, one. Make sure you tell me when we're going live, Samuel, because I don't want to be rambling when we're actually on the air. Because you'd tell me when we're on the air. We should have an on-air thing, so that I know not to say something
So you
stupid.
can take your herbal supplements to help make you look fresh and vibrant. Is what you're.
Caramels.
He had a thing. Oh, that is the advert on Amazon on YouTube. Shut up, please. Okay, cool. There we go.
So we are live. Hi, how you doing? I knew that the whole time. It's fine.
Raj is in England. Hi. He asked how are we. How are you, Stuart?
I am good. I got a bit of a headache today. Developed mid-afternoon, and so it's kind of like sitting there. It's bugging me a little bit, but other than that, I'm fine.
Yeah, I just took some things. So hopefully, I'm going to get slightly better as the hour goes on. So yeah, we are surprise live because we have a weird week this week. So we're doing one today and Wednesday, as opposed to our regular Tuesday and Thursday for life reasons, and then Comic-Con, and then Vegas prep, which will be stressful, and then I'll see you in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
Coming up really quick. I'm happy it's all booked.
2 weeks tomorrow. Yeah, sorry.
Like I'm happy it's I'm happy it's all booked. But it's like because the thing, people think, oh, it's a holiday. It's like it's not. It's like 7 days of work because I've got to be on the whole time, so it's quite stressful.
Mark Lawrence says a nice relaxing day off and now a live stream. Good times. I was talking to Mark earlier. You didn't tell me it was your day off. I would have talked to you a bit more, Mark. Yeah. I was busy today. I was having conversations with four.
Sorry, Stuart.
But that's okay.
You disappeared.
I'm back now.
He said to have conversation with 4 people. Maybe that's what he said. I'm assuming that's what he said.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with 4 people, 3 of them on Messenger, 1 with you, 1 was you, there's 2 other people, there's Mark, and messaging back and forth and talking about the same things and interweaving a tale. It was a pain in my I mean, that's what gave me the headache, even though that was around noon, but that's okay.
So fun times had by all is what you really mean. It's what you really mean, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of prep getting ready for Vegas, so...
But that's the thing, once we're there and all that work's been done and we can just like walk through halls, there's only so much to do, which is kind of nice. Yeah.
There's been a lot of boredom times where we're like, what are we going to do? Yeah. So, and if we can get enough Trekyards people there or meet enough people, we can definitely do like a little Trekyards meet and greet thing, but we were talking about that a bit today. We'll see what we can muster up.
And we're sure that like when I went to Destination, you went to other cons, like people are just going to bump into us because not everyone looks at our page or even these lives or anything.
Oh, exactly.
So we're going to bump into people, and we might have to have like a pre-made like post-it note for people saying, here's our 2 meetup times. Because that's what I did in FedCon. I was always like, I did tell everyone the time. They're not going to remember the time, though, are they? Really? We're going to have like a piece of paper with that in advance. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And I'm excited to, even though we're going to be seeing the TOS sets in Georgia, the shooting sets very soon. I know they have their very, very lit up version here at the event. I don't know if you have to pay to take pictures on that set for the Vegas one, the sort of half set.
I'm trying to remember when Sylvie and I went. They had the TNG one there. I don't think we had to.
No, you wouldn't. No, I didn't know they had a TNG one.
With your own camera, no. But I think they have a camera that you can get more professional-like ones.
Right. That makes sense. Because that'd be fun to be able to do a few like fun stills. Because I'm gonna bring my new camera so I can take the fancy ones. Although it's a bit bright, but I can fix that in post.
Yeah,
it's good for most people, obviously.
Well. And Mark Equinox says, Stuart, you froze like in Timeskate. Were you reenacting the episode? I'm like, no, because I've never seen it. But I'm just that good. I can reenact those things.
I see some super chats, so I'm going to go off and share while you do that.
Yes. Okay. Time to address super chats. So Tizera puts in $5 with no comment, no question. Makes us feel very sad. We'd like to interact with you guys. We got a great community. Love talking to you guys. So, but thank you very much for the donation. Greatly appreciated. Area 51 puts in $5. Area 51, you're going to get stormed on the 20th. Facebook people are coming. They're going to get you. But he says, the episode where the aged caveman-looking admiral reverts to 1980s Richard Greco. Yeah. We're going to talk about that. I love how he's like 85 years old, but he looks like he's like McCoy was 137, and didn't look quite as old as this guy, but then again, he's got this. I forget what diseases he has, but hold on a second. But yeah, so guys, super chats are important because it gets you guys your voices heard and all that jazz, blah blah blah. Sorry, I had to take a text message there while he was sharing around, so sorry for the dead air there. I apologize. Don't be mad at me. But yeah, so yeah, and another other ways to help us, of course, down below in the description of all of our videos are all of our links to all the relative social medias, and join all those. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, do all that jazz. That's very important. We're going to be very short on moderators for this chat, if any, but that's okay. Most of the moderators are busy today, so I don't know if we're going to have any here. So the regular chat might get away from us a little bit. Yeah, because the moderators are all busy or something's come up. So they might come halfway through, one of them. I don't know. We'll have to see. But if you don't see any moderators, yeah, and if you don't see any moderators in the chat, we apologize. We'll try to take care of things in there, but super chats are the best way to get our attention, unfortunately, when it's just us. And
you had the two super chats then?
I already did.
Thanks, guys. So, episode 16. Stuart, what is your spoiler-filled but short overall analysis, review, thoughts on this episode?
Well, if you'll recall, when we're going to get into this episode, I was like, oh, good God, I don't like this one. And after watching it, it's not as bad as I thought. It's still mid-tier, a little bit lower mid-tier, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. I just have a few issues with it. It's a very simple story. It's actually, it was covered kind of in TOS with I can't remember the name of the episode, but supplying. No.
Guardian Forever.
No.
The Cage.
No. Where the Klingons were supplying flintlock rifles to both sides of both tribes to equal things out. Kind of the same thing. And somebody mentioned earlier, it's a refers to the Iran-Contra thing as well. But we'll get into all that when we get into it. But overall, like I said, middle of the road episode, a little bit lower than middle of the road, but not as bad as I originally thought. It's still one I could pass up, to be honest.
When you mentioned that last week, I was quite surprised to be so strongly meh about it. So in you remembering it, is that based on your literally the first watching it back in the 80s, or is that from later viewing? Is that over time? Like, where did that opinion maybe come from?
That's later viewing over time. I don't think I think maybe a few years ago when Sylvia and I rewatched TNG, I watched it front to back like once. Mostly this is an episode I catch kind of midway through or see the first half of it and not the last half. So it's always been kind of disjointed for me. I just remember the kind of shit parts.
Okay.
But as a whole, it's not as bad as I remember. Okay. So yeah, and I don't remember my first viewing of it because it's not one that would stand out to me as a kid. It was really boring.
Well, okay, good answers. I think one thing, this is why we talk about pace a lot. This is why I don't like to be interrupted while I do my rewatch, because if the phone rings, you have to go off for 10 minutes and answer a call, you come back, you can't exactly get yourself back into the pace, the feel. Some of the episodes might feel long to you or might feel disjointed. There's reasons that there are problems. So when they did the Arrow, Flash, Legends, Supergirl crossover event, and they do their yearly crossovers, you're sort of meant to watch them night by night. But I always save them to watch all 4 in a row, because then you're getting the entire story in one big thing. Now, it's not necessarily built that way, but because the pace is meant for unique, but I like sort of seeing it as a full movie pace. So pace is important.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I was just reading the next super chat. Sorry,
we'll jump in. I'll do my review.
Brian Straight puts in $10. Thank you very much, by the way. That's awesome.
Thanks, Brian. That's awesome.
just watched this episode in preparation for this video. I will never forgive you two. So I guess you're saying that you didn't really like this episode. I guess.
Brian, tell us, why didn't you like it? I want to know, because I feel guilty now. So for this episode, this one actually stood out to me as a child, because season 1 is one of those ones where they either do stand out or they don't. A lot just don't. This one did to me. I'm not really sure why when I was younger. Watching it now, I enjoyed it. I thought it was... Again, watching it as an adult who understands filmmaking, I was surprised. God, how much dialogue did the Admiral get? I mean, it was the Admiral Jameson show. He had, what, at least 60% of the lines? Just him? Kind of a crazy
very little,
amount.
yeah, very little use of the Enterprise crew
in
this episode.
But that gives it a really unique feel, because it is a real character piece. You get a lot from him, you get a lot of journey, you get a lot of texture, and it is a unique sense. Even though the rest of the crew all do serve a purpose, even if it's just looking pretty, like Riker, or being there but not saying anything, like Tasha, who got one line and Worf didn't get any lines. I mean, at least Picard got some good stuff at the end, but it's an unusual episode where it's an ensemble, but everyone else gets like 1% of the screen time, all combined it's an ensemble. But to give the guest that much, does that ever happen again?
It's hard to say. I'm sure there's a few episodes that yes, but
I mean for TNG, I think I would guess in a similar vein, like Cisco, Pale Moonlight. That's like almost all Cisco. That kind of the same vibe of like it's so focused.
And one of the big things that I disliked about this episode, and which Robert Hayes just pointed out too, went a bit overboard with the aging makeup. He's supposed to be 85. He looks a lot older than McCoy, who was 137, but at the same time, he's got Iverson's disease, which probably, Dr. Crusher says it affects the body, not the mind.
Some of these notes are on makeup and aging and not making sense, but yeah. So
the Iverson's disease can definitely explain the rapid body deterioration.
Yeah. Yes. But I'll say instantly to that, I just wish, given we'd just seen McCoy in living memory of every writer in this staff, 120, 130, still totally functional, and this guy 80 not. Make him 110. Make him 110, that's believable. He ages 20 years, he's 80, he's back in his prime at 70, not, you know what I mean? Give him that, not, I'm 80 and I'm decrepit, and I was in Starfleet 40 years ago, oh, I'm so old. It's like, Patrick Stewart Picard is also the same age in the Picard show, and he's working bloody vinery. I mean, obviously that's not the same disease, but it's like, look at the difference. It was just they completely messed up on aging, completely. Just make him over 100. Easy solution.
Yeah.
Because same thing. I will jump to it now because we're talking about it. If the guy on the planet, he calls out Jameson for his actions, which happened 40 years ago, that guy didn't look more than 50 something.
That's why I think it ties in with the Iverson's disease, because he makes a point of saying, time hasn't been good to you, Jameson.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if that guy's 50, happened 40 years ago, I mean, that guy on the planet must be in his 70s to be able to even be leading a force at the time. So none of the ages make any sense. It just didn't hire appropriately aged actors for this.
He's an alien. They age differently. Who knows?
Which is fine, but then make Jameson absurdly old too. Don't make him only 80. You know, because the wife was saying, "Oh, look at me, I'm all old." It's like, my granddad's older than you, and he's doing tours around the country, and you're complaining about being 80, and you're 200 years in the future with medical care. Are you kidding? Just that bugged me into no end. Hopefully, it bugged you all too.
Martin Devon puts in £2. Thank you very much, Martin. I heard it was wrote with Admiral Kirk in mind. That would have been a totally new dynamic. I don't think Kirk would have done what this character does, but yeah.
No, I couldn't see that for a second, honestly. I mean, that might have been like
the initial impetus of this episode. Like, let's have an old Admiral Kirk come in and try to fix a mistake. Wait, no, let's change it.
Yeah, the very first idea, but that wouldn't have got past draft 1. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't fit either. No. Sorry, don't buy it. Okay, so let's jump right in then. Swap to Premiere. Start at the green planet, as Eugene says. A planet is every planet. We're back here.
I think it was Persephone 5 or something that the planet was called.
Yes.
But yeah, they're picking up Admiral Mark Jameson, and he's got to go do a hostage negotiation with Karnas, governor of Mordan 4. There we got our two main guys right there listed. Boom. Yeah, because Admiral Hawkins and his staff, Federation staff, have been taken hostage on the planet by rebels or terrorists that are demanding a Federation negotiator. They won't talk. They won't talk to Karnas. So
it's a good setup. It's right to the point. It's good and pacey. The makeup does kind of like go, "Wow, okay, that's a dude's face," but it is a good setup. Yeah,
and it's going to take 6 Earth. Well, they have to be there in 6 Earth days to bring Jameson to take him there. Otherwise, the hostages will die. And then there's a whole conversation about them having peace after 40 years of civil war. They've had peace for a few years now.
Yep.
Why can't Karnas, negotiate this like he did with the peace talks?
Yeah.
Karnas made peace. Yeah. Why can't he deal with the rebels?
He refuses to almost. Yeah.
Yeah. So something seems sketchy right from the get-go. And, yeah, his face, the makeup's a little jarring. But in HD, I was looking, and it's still fantastically done makeup. You can't see seam lines. It's just, you can even see, like, aging spots, like veins and stuff under the skin. I mean, the makeup is good for what it is. It's just, he's 85. But I think, again, ties in with Iverson's disease, ravages the body and all that. I buy that. I'll go with that.
Yeah, it's really impressive makeup. Michael Westmore is a genius. I mean, the flaps of skin, and they invest in it. They do get close. It's definitely impressive, but it's it's an artistic interpretation. It's like when you saw in the Elder Years or whatever it's called with Kirk McCoy and
the Deadly Years.
Yeah, getting old, and it's like, there's only so much you can do with drawing in age line. This is obviously much more intricate, but then you look to like when they had Peter Wayland in Alien, again, really intricate makeup, but it's a bit more whatever. And it's funny, my mum, because again, I said, hey, let's watch this together. She said, oh, why don't you just hire an older actor to play him? And I said, well, there's a reason. She's like, oh. I was like, wait for it. There's a reason.
Yeah, but I kind of see that as well. I mean, there's something we complain about if they did that. But to hire an older actor who looks similar and then have a younger guy come in with a little bit of makeup to do some of the de-aging, like the last part of it, I think would have probably worked a bit better. Voice-wise might have been a little off, but...
Yeah, it would have been fun to have 3 actors, because then it would have been much more radical. Really old man, medium, and then he goes too young and he becomes like 17.
Yeah.
And it's like way too young. And that would have been really fun. But I think, it's so focused on this guy's performance. This episode fails or lives on the guy's performance, and it's whatever you say about it is a performance.
It is.
He is performing. And lastly, on this makeup, you can tell, especially when he's older, he's having to overact to get through the makeup.
Well, he's doing what his grandfather probably does that has no teeth. To look old, do that.
Yeah, which it's definitely, again, a performance. This is a character. How can you relate to a man that is this old, this far in the future, this ill, after a big prime of life? Like, you can't relate to this character. It's too special. Yeah. And also, I mentioned first time we see the new Admiral's uniform.
Yes, which I'm not a fan of.
See, this one I don't mind.
This one's not bad when you see some of the other ones, but this one, overall, I'm not a huge fan of.
It's gold trim like TOS though. It's got a bit of that trim.
Yeah.
I don't know. Blends in a bit too much, I think, for you maybe.
Clivoid puts in $2. Very ageist, Samuel. Yeah.
No, I was supporting my granddad, saying he's amazing, and these people in the future should be even more amazing with less. It's the opposite, sir.
Shame on the people of the future.
Yes.
He's futurist.
What? Well, I just think more of them, I guess.
So they head off to the... Oh, and one thing that's worth pointing out, when they're talking to Karnas, on the wall behind him is a Federation phaser from Star Trek 3, and a few other weapons. One that he picks up later and says, "I'll kill you with your own weapon," kind of thing. Yes. Spoilers, but I mean, it's something I noticed right away, but I thought he just collected, the Federation were there 40 years ago, maybe found it on a dead body or whatever, you know.
Hmm.
But now it makes a lot more sense at the end to see that armory behind him
Hmm.
be Federation tech, some of it. So
Yeah, I mean, they thought, what do we have? Well, we've got the props from the two movies we're working on, 6 and... Because, I mean,
yeah,
the Assault phase appeared in 5, so it's work in progress, because there is the Assault phase from 5, then the one from 6, or 4 next to it, and then reusing the only slightly changing the Klingon rifles from Star Trek 3, which we'll get into at the end. But yeah, it's a good point. What did Jameson give them? He gave them old stock, because boy, that was
yeah,
not the cream
yeah,
of the crop 40 years ago.
yeah. Another thing I want to point out is that framing shot of Karnas, the two birds on each side.
Hmm.
It's very interesting because later when you see his office, you see the reverse angle, and those birds are there, and all that's hanging in the middle is like a banner. So it's like some kind of sensor tech that is
Oh.
instead of a camera. We'll get there when we get to
Yeah,
the
I
end.
don't remember
But
seeing a
I just
reverse.
want to point those birds out because you'll see them later, and that's a very cool framing, especially for somebody in charge of a planet. I think that's very cool, very regal-like. Yeah, I like
Well,
that.
this example of, right, we're going to make a static image on a view screen. This time make a good-looking, memorable image.
Mhm.
A dude, table, guns, eagles. Yes.
Yes.
Enough said. Enough said. So anyway, this conversation ends with, so we're going to pick you up, and when he'll be ready, he's like, I'll be ready at 1500 hours. And goes to black, and Picard says, wait, it's almost 1500 hours. It's
Now. Let's go to the
that-
transporter room.
Yeah, it's like, I guess we'll go say hi. And it's such a small detail, but I kind of like that. Because they had to write that in deliberately, but it's like saying, yeah, he's got nothing going on, and B, he's like,
Yeah.
I've been keeping
Well,
him braised.
this is one I
I like
made
the
a
moment.
point to,
Hmm.
and I've shared this video clip before.
Okay.
When I noticed it when they're walking into the turbo lift, Patrick Stewart right before he goes in does this. Opens his mouth very
Oh
wide.
yeah.
It's very odd. It's like, I posted a video of it before. Like, is this a mistake or whatever? And they're like, oh, it's probably mouth exercises or whatever. It's like, why would you do that? But he opens his mouth very wide as he's entering, like as a
Oh,
gaff,
dear.
and he continues it right into the turbo lift.
That's
If you actually watch the clip, it's quite noticeable. Are you watching the clip?
I was looking at the chat, but
Oh.
that's hilarious. Yeah.
Jarzia puts in $20
Oh.
Canadian. Thank you very much. Very generous. 50K subs. They deserve a super chat. Temba, his arms wide. Well, thank you. Yeah, we hit 50 yesterday. Got up to 50,005.
6.
Wanted to give it a little. I know. I wanted to give it a little time to marinate because they kind of fluctuate. They drop a little bit. Didn't want to announce 50 and then people check and it's like 2 under or something. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. We're halfway to a silver play button.
It took us 4 years, 5 years almost.
Oh,
We do try, guys. We do try. Go back and watch our old content if you enjoy. We've got, as we always say, if you just search Trekyards, the name of the ship, it's probably something somewhere. And if you want to say well done, do feel free to super chat.
And Robert
support
Hayes,
on these.
yes, and Robert Hayes says he's yawning. He's not yawning. With the way he does it, it's very, very quick. Like it's odd to see. You got to go watch that little clip right at the beginning when it's during Turbo Lift. It's very odd. Now that I've seen it, I cannot unsee it every time I see this episode.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So they be on board, and it's funny, now that we've seen it happen 3 times, I now understand why there's a middle pad for things
Yeah.
larger than people.
Yep. Cargo and containers.
Never occurred to me, because they never really use it, but they can use it. That's smart, because if they designed it without that, these sorts of shots would be really difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, I was always under the assumption that the transporter pad is not confined to that cylinder though. But because you see people being in with clothes and stuff that overhang it and stuff, so it's like
True.
whatever.
I
Just make
assume
it easier, maybe.
I assume it's just a focal point, and then obviously the energy. It takes more energy to go around that. And
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
so they've been on board, and it's the man and the wife, and instantly you think, wow, she looks much younger than him.
Yeah. Again. I think it's the Iverson's disease. I'm going to keep saying that.
She's 80, doesn't look 80, which is good, but
Oh, yeah.
she shouldn't be you know, it would have been kind of nice if they made them both 110, put a little makeup on her, to accentuate it, and then, you know, that would have been nice. But it's okay.
I find out her name is Anne, so this is my wife Anne. Yeah. And before he gets off the transporter pad, he makes it very clear. I'm not only an advisor, but I'm a senior mission officer.
Yeah.
I control the away team and all actions. Is that understood? And of course, the ship is yours to command, but the mission's mine. So, and Picard's like, I love Riker. He's like,
Yep.
Are you gonna let him do this? Because that's my job.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of little neat touches that aren't needed, that when you watch the episode, you're like, oh, it's a nice something to think of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but again, it does make sense. It's not, and he's not rude about it. He's just blunt, you know.
Yeah.
There isn't much time, hostage situation. He's much older than Picard. He's lived through it. He's in pain. I mean, why would he be too formal? He's earned his rank. You know, he's an admiral. Yeah. He should be politer, but I mean, he's, you know, already got to admiral.
Yeah, and most admirals are dicks, as we know. So.
As we've seen. Yeah.
Eugene puts in 1,500 rubles. Thank you very much, Eugene.
Already mentioned you.
From synopsis, I guess I need to paraphrase Janeway. Crew member, it brought a man on board. He says he's a Starfleet admiral. Picard, red alert. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're always. I mean, has there been nice admirals? Well, Admiral Janeway in Endgame, but she also betrayed them. So I mean,
well, yeah.
You could argue.
I mean, there's a few that are all right, but when you look at the numbers and you actually figure it out, the percentage is so small for the ones that are actually on the level. Most of them have something corrupt going on in the background, or they're just dickheads. They just act like an asshole when they don't need to. Yeah, they're admirals. I get it. They got to get the job done. And captains think that they rule the world because they're out there doing their thing. And captains are captains, and there's a mentality that they got to squash down. But still, I think most of the admirals are a bit of dickheads.
I think, Eugene, you've answered the question why we don't let Stuart get a promotion. Once he goes admiral, he can't come back from that.
Right?
We can't let him go that crazy.
Yeah, that's why Sylvia's an admiral, because she keeps me under her thumb.
That explains so much.
Yes, it does. Devil Dogs 2600 Hertz says Picard is basically a cab driver. In this episode, yes. Yeah, exactly what he is. Well, no, he's the head of the cab company. He's not actually doing the driving.
Yeah. Oh, and some great examples of good admirals. Yeah, Admiral Ross, although he was Section 31, so he was bad in the end, sort of. And Admiral Paris, Tom Paris. That's one of the good examples. And Jellicoe, he was a captain, not an admiral.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think of this chair? Because I completely forgot there was a chair in this one.
I think it's damn huge. But it's very... Oh. I'm back. It's damn huge. It's kind of a unique design. Apparently, they spent a lot of money building this prop, and it malfunctioned half the time.
Yeah. Wasn't worth it. What wasn't worth it? I mean, it doesn't even move except the doors. Just make a static prop with doors. Which I guess it might have been, but yeah, it's very underwhelming. You didn't need it.
Yeah.
You really didn't need it.
It's not very... Turbolifts don't seem very wide. Like, we didn't see him come off the turbolift under the bridge. Makes you wonder how he got there. They might have had to beam him.
That's funny.
Because really, it's not like the ship's wheelchair accessible by the looks of it.
That's hilarious.
Wheelchairs these days are a lot narrower. Damn.
Hilarious. See? Yeah, I like that logic. Although I mean, the reason to have it is for the payoff in walking, which I totally appreciate. Yes. But, I don't know. Although I will give credit, it does give you Pike parallels.
Yep.
Which is definitely intentional.
He should have come on when he beamed on. They should have asked him a question before he said anything. It should have been like a beep. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I can talk. It's fine.
I ain't no Pike. I can talk.
Yeah, but So they only want to speak to a Federation mediator. They will accept no excuses if there are. They will accept no excuses. If not, the ambassador and his party will die. And then Dr. Crusher says, ready for the Admiral now. And the Admiral's like, what? What's going on? Oh, just a routine medical check.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And the look on his face is like, oh, what? Yeah.
And you get a lot of Troy. Actually, now I've watched the episode, Troy constantly looks at him like something's going on, but never actually outs him.
Nope. Yeah, everybody's underused in this episode. It is very much a Jameson story.
But I just realised that. I just finished it, and it's obviously set up. But he comes forward so easily. Like, there's no malice, there's no... I mean, he didn't break any laws or rules.
Yeah.
You know, he's just being a little bit shifty, but that's weird, that never came through. Huh.
So we got a super chat from Clivoid, puts in $5. Kirk wasn't a dick as an admiral, didn't follow rules, though. Actually, the Star Trek The Motion Picture. Can you hear me?
Hello, are you back now?
Hello? Yes. What was the last thing I said?
Nothing, I just heard the super chat and then you read it.
All right. Yeah, Kirk wasn't a dick as an admiral, didn't follow rules, though. He was a dick as an admiral. If you look at it from Decker's point of view,
yes,
it's my ship. I helped redesign it. If that was Kirk, and this is a TOS episode, and it's like this admiral comes on and goes, "I'm taking over the center seat. You know, they need somebody with experience." We'd be like, "You dickhead." So from Decker's point of view, Kirk was a bit of a dickhead admiral. So
yeah, put it this way: the I don't say command chair, but I guess the command desk did alter his personality. At least some. Well, I think that's just his frustration on being an admiral, not having that his own center seat. It wasn't, which is interesting though. You could argue that admirals are pissy because they see what they miss a lot of the time.
Yeah. Plus, they got to deal with a lot of bureaucracy from politicians like the president and all that above them, and other admirals. So they're kind of even they don't have a lot of freedom or leverage to do what they want. They're told to go take care of the captains.
So the admirals bar is just pure big dicks to each other.
Tanushi puts in €2 and says a mobile Zamboni. Yeah, it's about the size of a Zamboni. That'd be hilarious, making a video of that thing going around a rink.
Oh, Area 51. Admiral on bridge. Clunk, clunk, clunk. That's good.
Area 51, be careful. September 20th, people are coming to storm you. Tom Zeros 48, $5 Canadian.
Thank you.
Admiral Ross was pragmatic with Section 31, but not evil. Still good Admiral. Admiral Hayes and Hansen were okay too. Yeah, we'll have to address each admiral as they appear on the show, because I don't remember them all specifically, their names. But
I would say Ross was great actually, but I mean, you know, once you side with the dark side, even once, you're tainted, unfortunately. But we didn't say these admirals are evil. I mean, this admiral's not evil. Kirk wasn't evil. They're just, as we say, the extra power or just the writing makes them be a bit dick-like, and Ross's mentality went to be a bit dick-like. Sort of. So I'm again surprised Troy didn't get her follow-up. And pacing-wise, this scene goes from this scene, and then at warp, go to sickbay, and then now in the captain's quarters, and it's like, oh, why did we mention sickbay? I guess just okay. Now the pacing was a really weird transition there. Like they deleted a scene or something.
Yeah,
it's because it's the same scene again. It's like we just had this scene. Here's the next part of it.
Pretty much. It's them asking him why he requested you. How does he even know you're still alive? It's like, really? Okay.
He's only 80, and you guys don't know he's diseased. Really? Yeah. Again, ageism is heavy in this episode.
Yeah. So there's And then they talk about there's been peace for 5 years. There was a 40-year civil war, but they've been at peace for 5 years. So this is kind of an odd thing that terrorists or rebels are now like doing these. So it's kind of suspicious. And yeah, it's a scene that really could. I don't know.
There's one too many talky scenes, and this is it.
Yeah, and why'd they have to change venue for this? They could have ended the communication with the guy on the bridge and just had the conversation on the bridge. You know? I don't know. It just seems.
I mean, I was expecting honestly, cut to sickbay. He's on the table. Troy's now with the captain in the office saying, "I'm sensing this, this, and this." He's like, "Well, we'll see." That's the obvious next scene, not this. And it's weird because they really go deep into this plot. The simple of the plot, but we do get it quite quickly. You know, normally you wouldn't need this much exposition about this one situation. It's a full character drama of this person's turmoil, so you got to really feel it. But it's like a lot of focus on the singular story of this planet that never comes up again, isn't ever relevant again. You know, it's a bit weirdly balanced. Although actually, you know, this could be one of those great, we need these episodes where you give most of the crew things to do other episodes, and this is one of those ones where we need a new one where we only need Patrick for one day, everyone else for half a day. Second unit will film the other guy a lot of the time. This really frees up our actors for other things. I think it's kind of one of those like cleverly
because
it's not bad by any means, but there's a lot of focus on one guy that doesn't really ever happen again.
One of the things I don't like about this episode is very little character development from anybody. A little bit from Crusher, a little bit from Picard.
Well, it's Jameson, really, but do we care?
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
But he also dies. So
that's why I think I don't like it so much, because it's kind of a standalone episode. It could be totally removed from season 1. You wouldn't skip a beat. You know, you wouldn't miss any character development.
Would this be a better TOS episode?
Yes, absolutely.
I think so too.
It's almost like it was written as a TOS episode and then changed over to this or something.
Would have been a good TOS episode as well, actually. Because you can imagine Kirk saying, I'm going to beam down. And Picard, it does work too. We'll get there in a minute. But having Kirk beam down with phaser in hand would have been quite cool. Yeah, actually it would have been better. Yeah.
And Martin Devon puts in £2.
Thank you.
Akbar was cool. It's a trap. It's
a trap later.
Akbar was cool, but something about Akbar smelled a little fishy. You see what I did there? Sorry.
Next scene.
Yes, in their quarters, she's putting stuff away and asks, just general conversation about these two.
He can move to the chair, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "Yes, the treatment is doing better. I feel strong today."
Yes. Which she's surprised by. She's like, "Oh my god, that's amazing."
But not too surprised. Like she goes along with it. So I appreciate the tone. It's like, oh, so he could be getting better. It's a I do think it's a good build. It's one step at a time, and it doesn't hold our hand so much as evolves organically, you know?
Yeah. I didn't make any notes for this scene really because it's just like...
It's just this moment, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then he gets ill, talks about the treatment, but he says, I've been feeling it, it'll pass. So
I'll
we
have
know...
growing pains, yeah.
Yeah. He does say it, I mean, he does give it away in his dialogue almost throughout the whole thing. But it's intriguing. This episode is intriguing. I'll actually give it that.
Yeah. Fat Produce puts in $2. I wonder if the script was from Star Trek Phase 2. I wouldn't doubt that for a second, actually.
Well, it was DC Fontana helped write it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that... I'm gonna read on that for a sec while you do some more. Because that's, yeah.
But, yeah, I don't have much written down for this scene. Just that they obviously care for each other, which is lovely. Yay. Next scene and where my notes start. Back in the ready room, Picard and the doctor. She's saying that the medical reports that he gave her, so I guess she didn't do any tests on him. He instead overruled her and gave her reports that he said were 2 days old. but we're in fact 2 months old. And that's where we hear that he's 85. And it's like, what? And all the talk about Iverson's disease that affects, and when they were talking about the 2-month-old reports as opposed to 2 days old, Picard says, well, he is 85, Doctor. The mind goes in some people. And she's like, well, he suffers from Iverson's disease. That affects the body, not the mind. So that's on that one line of dialogue, I will say that's why he looks so old, because it ravishes the body and all that jazz. And this is where Beverly says, I have the feeling he's hiding something. And Picard's like, now that's an observation I expect from Counselor Troy. And she looks all pouty for some reason. So he goes and sits beside her. And he's like, Doctor, I respect your opinion. I want you on the bridge for the next day or so, at least, to just kind of keep an eye on things. So, again, a great scene between Picard and Crusher. If anybody's getting character development in this episode, it's these two, because they're the most important characters from the regular cast in this episode. And even that character development is very minimal, in my opinion, but still a great scene.
And again, I said last week, Beverly is absolutely one of the top build in the season. I mean, without a doubt, she gets easily the most, I mean, a lot of these, to be fair, over half these episodes have had a medical problem, a distinct medical problem. But she's, like, one of them. I mean, she has more lines than, honestly, she has more lines than Worf, Tasha, and Troy all in one go. I mean, easily.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, feel free to eat. I know this is always a time to eat, so do feel free. But what are you eating though?
I was gonna say, I think, what am I eating, or what do I think?
What are you eating?
Oh, I'm having a BLT wrap from Tim Hortons.
Nice. Those are pretty good. I'll give you that.
Yeah. That's the thing that pisses me off about this episode a little bit too. This is a perfect standout episode for Tasha to be taking the lead. Especially on the away mission, especially when Picard goes, to be, very insistent. She's very much in the background. Sure, she pulls her phaser out and she does a few things, but her character is just so underused. And this is one of those episodes where I think she would have been a standout. She could have stepped up and actually had quite a few lines in this episode that would have made a lot of sense. And it kind of fell flat.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Every time there's a tactical thing, they don't use the tactical thing.
Yeah.
Very, very strange. But no, I like this scene, and like I said, going with the aging again, at least they give us a reason why it looks so bad. But I think at that period in the 80s, you expect old people to look old.
Mm-hmm.
But now, when we, if they'd understood Trek, having be 80 is the worst thing. Because like I say, we talked about this. Patrick Stewart's character, Picard, is now, 80s, 90s? In Star Trek Picard. And he looks and acts fine, or will look and act fine. And you hear this, there's this weird disparity where it doesn't age well. He should have been, if he was over 100, you could buy it. Otherwise, McCoy, McCoy was from TOS, so I assumed, I wrote it, is this guy from TOS? Nope. Picard's only like 50, or 45, 50, so it's only, it's just a bit weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been better to have him be an older guy. And yeah, a line talking about, I worked with Kirk once or something. Would have been kind of neat.
Or I was on the Excelsior with Captain Sulu. That would have been, again, they don't like doing references, but yeah, I was an ensign on the Excelsior. Show how old he is. Would have been really fun. But again, they didn't quite know yet. Next scene, we see Jameson on the bridge doing some stuff. And then they say, do you want to take the helm or the con to get into position? He's like, yes, I would. Oh my god, he can stand. I do like the acting a lot in this scene. I think it's well paced. I think it's well done. Again, nice build. The director knew what he was doing. I just think the script is too talky, but the director's a good director. And the script isn't bad, it's just... Now, is the right word cheap? In the sense that it's a talkie with very little ambition beyond the talking. That's good for budget, bad for the amount of time to film it, but it comes across as a talkie, but I don't know, what do you think? Ambition versus what do you think?
I don't know what to say about that. To be honest, I don't know what to say.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Jarzia, $2 Canadian.
Thank you.
Picard is 59 in season 1.
Yeah, so it's only 20 years younger.
Yeah.
Than James. That's scary.
Yeah.
That really is actually stupid, and he looks at least 20 years not younger.
Iverson's disease.
I know. But then why his wife? She doesn't look. She doesn't necessarily. Actually, how old was that actress? That would be an interesting test. She's meant to be 80. Well, she must have been younger, obviously, because she didn't.
I would assume she's probably younger than him, like 10 years younger, maybe. So.
Well, they said they dated 40 years ago, the 50 anniversary, 50 years anniversary, and they dated for 5 years. I said before that, or something. So she's at least, couldn't be that many years apart. Otherwise, it'd be weird. Dating was 16 and he was 29 on a ship. So it should be 70s, but I don't know. Let me. I'm interested. I'm interested.
Tanushi puts in €5. Thank you very much. If he would have been an ensign on Excelsior, why wouldn't Tuvok be an admiral? Tuvok didn't want to be an admiral, but
he also left Starfleet in between.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm pretty sure, not to be mean, but I'm pretty sure your career resets. It's only fair.
No, I don't think so. I think he'll pick up from where you left off.
Really?
Probably do some. Yeah, you'd probably have to do some like testing.
But I mean, if you actually left, like decided like, no, I'm off, I'm gone.
Oh, maybe then. I don't know.
Not like I'm taking a quick sabbatical.
Yeah.
No,
but the scene where he walks is good. The reactions are great from everybody. Yeah. And I love how Picard's like, quite a little surprise you pulled on us there. And yeah, and Doctor's like, yes, quite. I tried a new therapy before I left. Seems to be working. And he says, I haven't felt this good since I was on the Gettysburg. So I guess the former ship was the Gettysburg.
You'll be intrigued to hear that the actress is still alive, and she's 101.
Oh, wow.
Born in 1917.
Wow.
So, she only retired in 2008. She was in her 90s? Holy hell. That's legit very impressive. So she was born in 1917, and the episode was filmed in 1988. Then she was pretty old. Do some calculation math.
I'm not good with the math.
No, I'm using a calculator. That's really cool. That's a calendar, not calculator. I hate them being together. There you go.
Well, Area 51 puts in $5.
Thank you.
Everyone has more lines than Yar. And Extra has more lines than Yar. Picard's fish has more lines than Yar. Now that's just mean, but true.
She was 71 at filming.
Yeah,
pretty good for 71.
Yeah. 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Younger than. Yeah. I buy it. I buy it. So let me get the scene in the ready room. How do you account for what just happened? I can't account for it. There's been no cure ever. And he's been in that support chair for 4 years. He relies on it. So just a quick little scene in the ready room.
Dang.
And again, Crusher's on point.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a methodical, nice build. And one little note, I do like him taking the helm because he's like, to be piloting a starship again, and Picard's like, he's like, only temporary, don't worry, Picard.
Yeah.
And
Don't
did you
worry,
know?
I'm not here for your job.
But when I'm young, I will be. And did you notice, not quite in this scene, but in a later scene, there are a lot of background extras at the bridge. And
in sickbay.
Yeah, and in sickbay. This is a very full... Because if they're not doing that much extra, you can put money in other places. I think they just said, yeah, we'll throw some more extras in. Because it feels like quite a busy ship.
Yeah, which is good. It is good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's effective. Then they love their he's in darkness shots because it hides the reveal of his de-aging. Happens
You sound just like him.
Well, I mean, like him in the sense they work stylistically. They're a bit overbearing. I think they work twice, but I think they're 6 times or so. But yes, then you get the reveal that he can stand and he's horny.
Well, yeah, that's important. He downed a Viagra before the scene.
2 vials of it. But we'll learn that later.
Yeah. Look in the mirror and, oh my God, you're so much younger. You look like you did 20 years ago. And then he falls over and she goes in medical emergency.
Yeah, he doesn't look 60. That's, again, I think this stage is the least good stage.
Yeah.
They didn't quite know what to do.
Yeah. So then we're down in sickbay and she's telling Picard he's got drugs in his system that are not in our pharmacopoeia. His DNA is skewed and there's no traces of Iverson's disease left. And she, again, the medical mystery part and just her acting is really great. So.
And it's just a lot of lines and some actors can't deliver technobabble. Gates McFadden and Geordie can. They can actually make it sound really interesting, really engaging. They've both got that knack, and thank God they were cast, because I mean, so can Data, but in the Data way, so can Brent. But these two, like she says, you know, even at the end, I noticed it specifically, her last line when Picard, as he does often do, I've noticed this trend, when you don't know what to give Patrick Stewart Picard, you just have him give an order again. He's like, well, figure it out, Doctor, and fast. I'm like,
yeah.
So you just said, hurry up and do your job. I mean, thanks for that, sir. And she's like, yes, sir. But the line read is just, it could be yes, sir, but that she has so much little bit of, like, that was a really good line read, and she knows how to play it. Good casting.
There's that flirty aspect between the two as well, which I like.
It's a unique balance of it's a more respectful lack of respect. I know who you are, Jean-Luc, so I don't have to be quite chain of command respect, but you see the inner respect. Like, there's a fun balance there that, yeah, just good. I'm going to miss her, honestly. I think she adds a lot to the season in terms of just really core strength, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So we get down to their quarters. Picard goes to visit them, and we get the nice sit down with them to find out what the hell happened. And he's walking very strongly. He sits down. He crosses his legs. He's got that, you know.
My note was he's got swagger now.
Yeah.
It's a simple choice, but it works really well. Like, there's some really nice little directorial decisions. And do you notice, Stuart? Now that we've got the budget for the quarters in several episodes, these quarter sets look gorgeous. This is a beautiful set.
This is Picard's quarters for sure.
Well, they're all the same. They're all the same quarters redressed. But in terms of set, it's such a good set. And now they've had 3 episodes of budget. Yes, that's good. Although I wonder if these chairs are just the conference room chairs, because they're the same design. I wonder if they just roll them from the conference room, because why buy 8 chairs? Just move them between the sets.
change the cushion color for the headrest.
Yeah.
Here we find out he visited planet Sarabath 2. Don't know if I wrote that down properly. But they have a process there that rejuvenates the body and gets your youth back. It's dangerous, and the mortality rate is very high.
Yes.
It's also extremely painful. Aliens seldom get the treatment, but he helped negotiate a settlement for them, and they felt obliged to help him out by giving him the treatment. And it's a combination of herb and drug therapy, and it's supposed to be administered slowly over 2 years.
Although I didn't. I think that's what he says, but I think the implication is he's been doing it slowly over 2 years, but you're meant to do it for longer, slowly, but he has to quicken it. Because I don't get the sense, because he does say I got it a while ago, so I think he's been doing it for 2 years and like slowly, because he says even though nothing visible's changed, he's just a bit stronger, or at least it's halted the degradation. So I don't know. I think he was doing it already for a certain amount of time, or it's just again lucky timing, but small thing.
Yeah.
But
and the response is different for every alien DNA.
Yeah.
But I got enough for both of us. I had to test it on myself first to make sure it was fine. And then when this mission came up, he couldn't wait, so we took both doses at the same time, all at once. And then I'm fitter than you are, Picard, and I'm getting younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And quick note, guys, to you wonderful, wonderful people, we have 137 people watching, which is excellent. Please like the video now if you can. Why is that important, Stuart?
Because it helps the YouTube algorithms. Plus, it shows us that you love us.
Yes.
And everybody that's watching, make sure you're subscribed as well. That's also very important.
Yes. And I want to see 65. I want to see 80 likes. Because you guys, come on, click that like button.
Do it. Do it now.
So what did you think of the actual reason for this? The MacGuffin of the episode. Does it hold up for you? Was it well told? Talk to me what you think about it personally.
Yeah, it's a good story. I didn't remember this story, the whole what was going on with his aging, going into this. So to actually hear it and take note of it, I thought it was actually pretty interesting. The fact that he kind of used his leverage as an admiral that worked out a peace treaty with these people to get this treatment. Picard is aware of the treatment, so it's kind of like a fountain of youth thing that a lot of people know about. So I thought it was great, and it was really well delivered. This is a good conversation, in my opinion. Wish the makeup was a little bit better here. It's very subtle, but looks too plasticky. But yeah, I think as far as this scene goes, it was actually really well done, and a good MacGuffin, as you said. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always liked it. It's one of those things where there's the technobabble and random science fiction-y stuff is one thing, but there's a way of crafting it, and there's a level of believability. There's a conscious chain of thought that you can go through that I think a lot of TNG stuff benefits from. Like, you follow what he's saying. It's an alien sci-fi MacGuffin, but there's a lot of detail to his story. There's a lot of thought. It's not like Discovery where they say we'll do this. It's like yeah. It's not thought out. It's just things. It's also MacGuffin bullshit, but it's written well. And I've always liked this because it's alien shit, I like the simple sort of almost throwaway line, as you said a minute ago, was every alien race is different, and it's like, well, yeah. I mean, I should think so radically different culture. But I like how Picard says, "Oh, it's a myth. This drug," but I like that some. I mean, this would have been theoretically magic. De-aging someone in a couple of years, his whole entire that's absolutely magic. Witchcraft science, it was absolutely true. The side effects are only because he abused it heavily. I like sometimes those are nice to have. The stories, the rumors, the unicorn's real just that once. So I appreciate them sometimes. But although I would have been nice if he didn't say what planet it was from. Because if Picard's smart, he would have been like, let's go.
Or just said there's a planet in such and such a sector.
This would have been way too much. Okay, if we ever get really high-end amazing tech to remaster people's faces, I would have had him say, I went to a place called Baku planet. What's it called? No, not Talos. What was the planet called? It was in the Briar Patch. I don't remember what the planet was called.
Don't know.
I don't know either.
Sorry.
But that wouldn't have been cool. I went to a place called the Briar Patch and I was younger, and then I that's harder to make work. It would have been kind of fun in the retcon scale of the universe. That is also that easy. Or I was given some metagenic radiation in a tube in a syringe. I injected myself, and that's why we were young. But yeah, I like this scene. It's a bit too talky, but it's good. When he says I did double dose, I love that because it makes the stakes. As the audience, well, shit. But it's a nice build. It's a nice, good build.
I love the way the scene ends too, because Picard's like, "Why did you feel you needed to be young for this mission?" And he doesn't really answer him. He says, "Well, I'll be on the bridge if you want to talk further." And he takes off. It's like, that's good. That's good.
Robert Hayes says, "But this process kills you. It can kill you or not kill you. It's up to you. If
Every alien reacts differently on the DNA, and when you take it in that quickly and 2 doses, that's why it kills you.
Yeah.
Because everything starts to de-age way too much.
Yeah.
So.
And the great Trekyards says, "Is this the same drug from Mud's woman?"
Might be derivative.
And Raj asks, "When did you reach 50,000 subscribers?"
Yesterday. Yay.
Yes.
Jarzia puts in $2 Canadian. Planet was called Baku. Yeah, I guess the
Makes
Baku.
sense. Yeah.
Sure.
It's so obvious I forgot.
Yeah.
So
I do love the little fight these two have though.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I was doing this for both of us. She's like, I'm sure you thought you were doing it for us. Then you got the chance to command again, and you upended the bottle or whatever it was.
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
It's a weird one as well because he did do it for her, then a situation happened. If this didn't have happened, and it worked fine, although I guess as someone said in the chat, it might have killed them. I guess the risk is I think she would have said no either way, but I don't think it's one of those classic. We need to make conflict, although it doesn't really mean anything.
I also don't think it de-ages you 40, 50 years. I think it de-ages you like 10, 15 if you do it properly, slowly. It just kind of rejuvenates you. It doesn't make you young, literally. But I think the quick delivery system and 2 double doses is what, or the double dose is what did this.
Well, I
don't think this is the standard.
Yeah, no. My extrapolation from the plot is that it can do as much as you want to risk it doing.
Yeah.
The more you do, the more you risk, the quicker. And obviously, if you're feeling younger, why not take a bit more? Try doing double dose. That could be risky, as in a double of your dose, like a little bit. But it can do miracles. But it would have been enough. It would have been enough for him if it just cured his, disease. That would have been enough. So it's relative. But once you have it, once you prove you can do it, then I think the promise of more youth would make you do more, and that would be what kills you. It's like gambling at a casino. If you win, your third spin, you think, oh, I'll just bet a bit more. I don't want double. Oh, I've lost a bit of money. Oh, some more. And now I've lost all the money I just gained, and now I'm down 1,000. Shit. Leave while you're ahead, but you never know when you stop when you're ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next scene, we get the conference room with the best lighting it's ever seen in season 1.
Which says something, Stuart.
Because all the lights are off.
It does look good though.
Coming in from the windows.
Do I think it's well lit though? Considering it's actually well lit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But he contacts the bridge. He wants to open a secure channel. And Picard's like, "Why? What's going on?" Just going to make sure that I know everything that he knows before we get there. I was like, all right, fine. So they have their little conversation. Him and I forget the guy's name now. It's way at the beginning of my notes.
Although I just realised why. I was thinking, to actually have this much darkness on the guy's face is really impractical in this room. Mm-hmm. That's not okay, but it is just because he calls the guy and the guy can't see him. That's the only reason he's in darkness. That just clicked to me. There's no reason except he can't show his face, so they have to make a fake covering his face, which I didn't actually put together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the 45 years in between never happened. You're coming back here. That's this great,
Yeah.
They're familiar with each other. You never forgave me. Of course I have. And then it comes to the realization that there are no terrorists, no dissidents. Mm-hmm. You have the hostages. Yeah. You coming to negotiate, and I'll be asking a very high price. If you refuse, the hostages will die. So there's a little bit of personal vendetta going on here.
But it's it makes sense. I like that twist. It's a simple twist, but it allows you to be very focused on these limited characters, so I think it works quite well. And I love this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I do quite like this side shot Because that's quite an annoying shot to have to do of him with the green screen or the blue screen. That's an annoying, expensive shot, but they did it for some reason, and it works.
Looks great, and it's a long shot. It's not a quick one.
Yeah, yeah.
It holds on that for quite a while. And Jeff Jacobs has joined us, our head moderator. He's here. So, hey, Jeff, welcome. We've missed you.
Jeff Jacobs. And I think you should focus at me, as I said in the group chat, so we can talk about the things, man. The things.
Yes. Send Samuel a private message, Jeff. He needs to talk to you.
Well, you need to talk to me. Aha.
Yeah. Anyway, he comes out on the bridge and he's like, I need you to bump things up to warp 8. Because they're on track.
Why are they always so slow?
Well, they're going at warp 4, which is going to be about 35 hours to get there. He's like, I want you to jump up to warp 8. I want to arrive early to catch them off guard. And then
It's like, these are hostages. Probably not being treated the best. Any moment they could be beaten, attacked. He give you 6 days. If you can get there in 1, get there in 1. And then just stay out of range of the planetary sensors, scan the planet, make a plan. You don't, like, if you have to get to an appointment, you don't go at 20 miles an hour. You go, because that's not the speed limit. Go at 60.
I was just going to say that. If you have an appointment at 3 o'clock, you leave half an hour early because you know that the traffic limit is a certain, you don't go, okay, it's fine. I can go last minute. I'm going to go at
that's not
three
the same.
times,
No, that's
three
not
times
the same
speed
thing.
of the speed limit.
It's not
yes,
the same thing as you know it.
These are space lanes.
Now,
you need to stay. You need to have the.
No, that would be fine.
Free.
You could go as fast as you want if there was no traffic and it was straight line. Then it would be fine. It's like in Coruscant.
But it's still not safe. You get a tire blowout and you roll off the road.
At least warp 6. Go at least 50. Come on. But you know what I mean? It's always ridiculous.
I know what you
mean. It's funny. I don't often go with Star Wars because Star Trek is smarter in every way. But Star Wars never had fuel until Solo and Last Jedi. And then suddenly it was a thing. And fuel is never really concerned in Star Trek because, as Rick Sternberg said to me when doing the Horizon and such, they can just refine it. Like, that's part of the process of the ship. They can get stellar matter all day long, and yes, the conversion rate is quite heavy to antimatter, but if you're getting matter all the time and always processing it, you don't burn it as much as you can make it. And if you need not dilithium, but stores, like if you need deuterium, you go to one asteroid belt and you get enough in one asteroid belt to stock you up for months, and then have your fuel stores as well. So it would have been a limitation, but it would have been kind of fun for them to say, anything past warp 4 and we'll burn through a lot more fuel, or burn the engine hot. Because then it would give a reason for going so slow when these are hostage. I mean, think of Star Trek 5, Cyborgs are hostages. No, it's okay, warp 2. Sir, that'll take us 27 days. Which went to warp 8 to take us 2. No, I think the hostages, they're fine. Warp 2. And it's like, oh God, Kirk. You know what I mean? Sounds silly as soon as you say it. So anyway, they're going fast.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a little rant.
Says I plan to personal. That's okay. You rant all the time. It's fine.
I do. The good rants, though. Informative.
I plan to. Yes. And sometimes I go on rants, which are just ranty. But that's okay. I plan to personally lead the away team on an armed mission to get them out of there. And then he asks to pull up the underground tunnels, which is cool to see on the big screen. It's just like a science station graphic that they just like. It's like you should have done something better with that. Framed it, or put an Alcars around the frame.
It's honestly a bit embarrassing.
Yeah, it should have been on a science station at the back. That's what it was designed for.
Or, I mean, it's also it's a wrong perspective. It's a flat screen on a 3D tilt. They haven't tilted it, but it's a 16:9 screen. They put a 4:3 monitor. It's like, why the hell isn't the screen doing a 16:9 computer display? Like, I'm glad it's a really quick cut, but it stands like a sore thumb, and also zooms into frame.
Yeah.
What is it doing? That was a remastering, please, guys. You completely ruined yourself there. Although, cut back 1 second. How cool is it to see Picard, the little bitch, in the second seat? You never see it. It's weirdly different. Like, it works.
Yeah.
It's fun. And he's all relaxed with his legs crossed, and they're two like, I don't like this. And Tasha says nothing. Worf says nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So underground tunnels under the city. That's probably where they're holding the hostages.
Because that's what they did last time. But would they do it
Yes.
again, Stuart?
No, I wouldn't.
No. Yeah.
So the captain doesn't agree with the strategy. And said, with all due respect, the Federation has not heard Karness's demands if he is in fact the guy holding them hostage. So we might be able to deal with him differently if we know them. So fill us in on what's going on. You're not just going down there with an armed party to get people out. That could prove dangerous to everybody. And then he's like, Starfleet has given me authorization to command the away mission, and I intend to use them as I see fit. See? Dickhead admirals.
I was about to say, now he's starting to turn. You know, youth and power have corrupted.
Yeah. Next scene's sickbay, and we get the whole, it's going to be our 50th anniversary next week. And Troy says, he's the same man. He still loves you, despite the fact he's getting younger. And she's like, yeah, but look at me. We're not, I was looking forward to retirement now that he has his entire life to live over again without me, essentially. And then Troy says, Doctor, she has to know. Like they had this conversation before, which is fine, I guess. Probably a cut scene or something. I don't know. And Crusher says he's stabilizing. He might not have. He's not stabilizing.
That's,
sorry.
Yeah, that's important.
Have that life to live over. Yeah.
And guys, we're now at 97 likes and 145 people watching, which is amazing. Come on, get us to 100 likes. Click that like button. We're right there. I want to see everyone click like right now. I will pause until we hit 100. Click that like. And 146. It's amazing, Stuart. Obviously, each day of the week is variable. But it's fine to see some people join for certain episodes. So I guess more people know this episode than other ones because we're getting more people today. Weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Well, we usually hit 147 is usually where these reviews are sitting for viewers.
Well, like
during the lives.
Like a nice top tier of that's.
Yeah. 150 is where it caps out generally. But yeah.
Which is great. It's actually a nice community at 150.
Yeah.
98 likes. Come on, guys. Come on. 101. My bullshit worked. Oh. Because I got from 70 to 90 and because I mentioned it earlier, so.
Well, I hope my bullshit works. Everybody hit subscribe. I don't know if you're all subscribed. Hit subscribe. Nobody's listening to me, but that's okay. And there's, these scenes in sickbay or in Crusher's office. There's the two extras outside, which the one guy walks back and forth a few times, actually. Yeah, behind Troy. And it's like,
well, he's busy.
Yeah,
he's Actually, didn't they mention specifically there's no nurses? I remember that being a thing, that she's the only medical staff so far. I was about to say he could be one of the nurses, but I think that was a specific plot point that she was the only one at the moment.
Doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. But I think that's actually a thing.
Well, that comes up later in the one with the static warp bubble.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that I'm the only doctor in a crew of over 1,000? You're 1,000. You've got 200 people.
Yes, Doctor. And so 2 of us. Of course we can fly galaxy. What are you on about, Doctor? It's like, what? Idiots. But I like this scene. This scene's fine. Again, it's a gentle build to the end. At this point we know the plot, we know the end, basically, in a sense. It's just living it. But I think the Admiral genuinely does a really good job. It's not, again, you can't relate to this performance. It's so out of the norm, but it's watchable. Like it's a unique take. It's a character actor giving something specific. Give him credit for what he's doing. It's good.
Yeah. Actually, the next scene I really enjoy, the one in the conference room, where he's sitting there again in darkness, having a drink, and Picard walks in and says, we're going to be at Mordan in 3 hours. Why is this mission so important to you? Then we get the reveal of how young he actually is now.
Yes.
And he says that the Mordanites were still ruled by family units back then. And Carden's father was one of the ruling chiefs. One of the other factions had him assassinated. So he held the passengers of a Starliner hostage, asking Starfleet to provide weapons so they could take revenge. And after 2 other moderators were assassinated, I went in and gave him the weapons he wanted. But I also gave them to his rivals. My interpretation of the Prime Directive allowed them to solve their problems on equal footing. And that decision ended up plunging them into 40-year civil war. So that's a great kind of... I love how he said my interpretation of the Prime Directive. Even the playing fields, I don't understand his reasoning in a way, but... And I love how it falls on the other guy later, where Picard's like, you had the weapons, you didn't have to use them. You could have tried for peace instead of, going out and just... Yeah. But I mean, you give a kid a new toy, they're going to play with it.
And if the toy's all pretty and shoots pretty lights, it makes sparks and death people. This is a good scene. It's this is one of those talky scenes that is so essential, but you need to cut one or two earlier or string on the little bit. But again, it gives so much depth to this situation that would have been nice if it being called back to in the future, because this is quite a built-out situation. But it's a good scene. It's a good reason. I like his guilt. Although I think you get a sense that his mental state is a bit fractured in the scene. He's not quite... Because there's a fine line. He's still 80, right? Doesn't matter how young he looks. He's still an old man with all the experiences. So where's that balance? He can't suddenly act young. He can just not act with the makeup of making him a bit more, physically... So where's that line? He's still acting very similar to himself, which is important, but he's... it's a good line, and the guilt comes through, and I like that. The official statement, as you said, official statement was, "I did it." Real statement was, "I just gave in." But he did save people. 65.
His original thinking was that he thought there'd be a minor war that would be settled within a year or so.
That's a great line.
With a clear victor.
Yeah.
And then because of what happened, he didn't expect it to take 4 decades. So he falsified records to Starfleet. 63 people came away safe, but then millions died as a result of my actions. And you get that sense of guilt for sure. And now Karnas wants revenge. So I'm going to do what I did the first time, or I'm going to do what I didn't do the first time. Take the hostages out by force. No deals. It's like, wow, that's messed up thinking, man.
I mean, I do think, though, the logic of... Give him guns is that classic, you never actually negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
That's why. Should he give them to both sides he knew was going to kill more people? I mean, at least if you give them to one side, they do their bit. I mean, because you can also have a bloodless coup. If you somehow completely outgun the other person, a bloodless coup can be a thing. Surely giving to both sides was the worst thing he could have done. How many stalemates for mutual... how many times do the same superpowers have mutually assured destruction and it actually does destruct mutually, rather than, no, it's fine, we're good.
A few times in Star Trek history, for sure.
Because, in the context of that war, he didn't tell each side that he gave guns to the other side. So each side feels like there's real tactical advantage. They'll do these really massive strikes.
But that's why I think he expected it to be a year. Because once you realize the other side has the same amount of weapons, you'll be more likely to talk peace. Because you both know what they're capable of. And it just backfired on him.
Well, the problem is it doesn't... If you don't change the paradigm, because if you both have equal firepower, then their initial impetus to war hasn't moved. And they still want to is war for a reason. The reason hasn't changed. If you give more firepower to one side, the impetus can change. Because now, well, if we don't stop fighting, we'll lose. It just... Yeah. It's a good backstory. It's literally a criminally sad backstory. It's good, actually.
It's like Oliver North and the whole Iran-Contra thing. It's the same thing. But Eugene puts in $1,500, pounds. Not pounds, rubles.
You all right there, Stuart?
I'm fine. Like I said, I have a headache, and I'm just kind of like struggling through this one.
Converts $25, which is amazing, Eugene.
Yes.
You are too kind, but please don't stop being that kind.
Yes. And a super chat says, reason, he's an admiral. Not every admiral is crazy, evil or crazy, but it seems you're much safer with Q aboard rather than with an admiral. That's legit. That's 100%
Oh
legit.
God, that's actually not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, no admiral will give you the Borg, but yeah. And can I just report with pleasant things? We've got another Trekyards Mission America 2 Indiegogo donation by a man named Thomas. He got the Anson Mont and Ethan Peck signed Enterprise Discovery prize for the $200. That got us another 2% to our goal, so we're now at over £5,000, 52%. And in terms of dollars, we now have a usable $5,243, which is great, but obviously we do need more for more trips. And just reference, that was the brand new added today perk, Anson Ethan signed Enterprise. To read the perk description, mid-campaign we wanted to offer something truly special, limited to 5 exclusive Discovery Enterprise signed by both Captain Pike, Anson Mount, and Mr. Spock, Ethan Peck. You cannot get this print anywhere else, let alone both these amazing actors' signatures on it. So that is a 2 out of 5 claimed, and it's cheaper than getting Anson or Ethan together, or separately, sorry. It's a real bargain, so we wanted to make that one something really special. So please do get those prints. They are going to sell out before the end of the campaign. So if you'd like a Discovery Enterprise signed by the 2 best parts of Discovery Season 2, then please do donate now. And that if we can get all 5 sold, that'd be a really big help to the campaign, as we're looking at second trip finances. Please do. 3 left while you can. Both have gone in the last 2 hours, so think about it. Thanks, guys.
All right. So after that brief intermission,
although, question to you:
yes,
would Picard have contacted Starfleet and got the Admiral out of a job now?
De-admiralized.
Yes. For falsifying
would
records.
Could he?
You know.
Would he? Probably should have. Yes. Could he? Definitely. Should he? Yes, probably. Sorry, I did the should be right away.
Although, side question, could they've got a signal to Federation space and back? We've no idea where this planet is. It could be on the edges. It's not. It's not a Federation planet. So if they're, what are they, 3 hours away from the planet, could they've sent and got a signal back in 3 hours? And if they couldn't, could Picard have actively said, "Screw it, Admiral, you're out of a job"? Because literally the next scene, the Admiral uses power to say, "No, I'm doing the thing," but should not Picard have said, "No, I'm relieving you," even without Starfleet's command?
Yeah, and it seems like something Picard would do, because of mitigating circumstances, finding out the truth about all this. I am doing, with going above Starfleet at this point and relieving you of duty, or at least whatever, right? Because he basically violated the Prime Directive and falsified records. He admitted to it. So does the rest of his career though cancel that out? Because that also raises into question the rest of his career. If he did it once, did he do it multiple times? When
else did he settle? When did he compromise against the principles? Although you say Prime Directive, the fact that there were Starfleet ambassadors there already means that the Federation already decided Prime Directive didn't apply because they were already there. So he didn't destroy that Prime Directive. He just, broke other rules.
That's a good question. Yeah, it was kind of surprised because I thought the same thing at the time. I was like, is Picard going to notify somebody of this? And I realized that after that talk, they were probably pretty much at the planet, so it's basically down to the transporter room. Yeah.
Well,
he's like,
no, sir.
No, go ahead. I was gonna.
Well, he's also on drugs, so.
Yes. True.
His brain's warped. He really shouldn't be in command anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. And if his brain and his other organs we know are getting younger and resetting themselves, almost imploding. Same thing would be going on with his brain. Neural pathways would be changing. He might not be, stable. He might not have all the experience or cognitive capabilities he had, because his brain's essentially getting younger as well, right? So when you get older, and as you experience things, you create new neural pathways in your brain that, and all those if those are being reverted back to previous, he's going to start acting like he did at that age again, which was when he made this decision. So anyway.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting question. would have been. I mean, there's always so much in this episode. But it would have been a fun like subplot to say that as his brain gets younger, it like factory resets parts of it. He loses some of his memory because it's making space for new memories, and so he's like forgetting parts of his life, and he's trying just to hold on to this. They could have been fun ways to play it, but they did enough. But yeah, Picard is going on the away mission. He demands as he's captain. Oh,
yep.
Risky.
Yeah.
Is this his first away mission, Stuart?
No. He went down times. Code of Honor. One other time.
No, that's true. Yeah.
I guess there's one other time.
He went in Farpoint, but I guess on an initial away team mission. I think it's his first time like a full-on going down.
Well, I love how whatever Jameson here, is that his name? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Jameson. Says, I'm the senior mission advisor. I'll be leading this team. And Picard says, but I'm captain of the ship, and I have the right to accompany him. So Riker, you're in command. And I love how Riker doesn't protest, because Riker is very stringent with the captain not going down, especially to a hostage situation where it's going to be dangerous.
And they're going there to fight as well. Like, that's part of the plan.
Yeah, it's like Riker wasn't given a script this week because he doesn't say anything.
I know.
It's just weird looks. Like, you want to do this? Oh, okay. Bye, Captain.
Well, Worf too. No lines. And Tasha is going. And I was saying this does make sense in a away team, even though it's the helm officer, not security officer, helm officer.
Visor.
But
They're going into tunnels.
Yeah. Data can do everything. Geordi can see everything. Worf can strength, power everything. Tasha's tactical. But yeah, Tasha should have been so in charge from this moment onwards.
It would have been nice if she just stepped forward and said, Captain, I don't advise that. And Riker would be like, yes, sir, I don't think that's a very good idea. Just a couple of lines there would have been fantastic. Instead of everybody just like, oh, okay. Yeah, he's going.
Yeah. Well, then you could have another subtle shot. I'm still on the shot of him in the transporter pad. If Tasha says, no, sir, take my pad. Stay behind me. And then she takes her phaser out, and then she beams in first. You could have done really small things to enhance. But again, as an actress, with 16 episodes in, she probably has less than 100 lines.
Yeah.
And that's... Yeah, seriously. There's nothing for her to do. Turns out, nothing for her to do. Weird.
So they beam in, which is a tunnel he recognizes directly under the governor's facility, whatever. And Data's like, your information is incorrect, sir. He goes, no, it's not. Your information's incorrect. We're going to go this way.
And Data's bemused face is priceless. Like, oh, yeah. I mean, okay, sure.
And then he says to Picard, his information's incorrect. This tunnel is closed off 2 years ago. It ends in a dead end. It's like, wow.
See, I was remembering when we got to this point. I specifically remember a point where they get to the dead end. They see that the door's been blocked because the governor knows that he knows a place. Try and trick him, and they do get to the place they're trying to get to because he does know the way. But are they saying that this isn't the way or this is the way? I didn't get that in the end. Was he right, but they just changed the maps, or was he wrong and doesn't remember?
That's weird because he was wrong because it was closed out to be a dead end, but that they cut through it, and that's where they get in the firefight. So it's like he was right because if that wouldn't have been closed off, yeah,
like he knew to go the right route to meet the people, and people must have been waiting for him. I think he was right. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, well, they find out that it was sealed off with something called steel plast. Dun dun dun. Steel plaster. Well, this is the most direct route, so set phasers to cut through. Yeah.
Yar does something and says one line. She gets her line, everyone, and we like Yar for what it's worth. Just doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty good firefight, I gotta say. I have no issues with it.
I mean, I have one, but it's a classic complaint. But the problem is in context terms. 1 minute earlier, they used phasers to burn through metal. 45 seconds later, they phase and hit metal and doesn't do anything.
It's because they changed the settings.
Yeah,
before they beam through, they did, and then beamed.
I know, but if these people are trying to kill them, just put the guns on full, burn through the metal. Like, you create a non-challenge by showing us the fact that the thing can do. Like, if you show a wide beam in one episode and then the same episode you don't use it, it's like, well, please don't show it if you have a situation where it's useful.
So you're saying because they're hiding behind things, they should be burning through them to hit the people behind them?
Yes. They have phaser rifles, and they're hiding behind metal. Burn through it.
They're burning through it, and then the beam, because it's burning through, hits the person by accident, then they're dead because it cut through them, no problem.
Yes. But they want to kill these intruders, so yes, they would want to kill them all. Why are they actively not... You know what I mean? It just seems weird, because there's no reason to not...
Because the burn setting takes forever to burn through, that's why they're like... Zzz.
They got phaser rifles. They might be 40 years old, they've got phaser rifles. Not phasers. Rifles are bigger. I'm sure they've updated them in 40 years as well. Small thing, it's just weird to have those scenes side by side, because you realise these things are better than you're showing them to be,
I do disagree with that.
That is absolutely fair. And what do you think of these pretty poorly redressed Klingon phaser rifles?
I thought they were pretty poorly redressed Klingon phaser rifles.
Superb!
Not impressed.
Which opens up a question. Why did Jameson give them Klingon phaser rifles?
Because they're not supposed to be Klingon phaser rifles.
Oh, but no, I think they are. I think they're just old stock. Like, he gave them crap. Like, he just gave them garbage. Because anything's better than what they had, I'm sure.
Stuff they seized off a Klingon vessel.
Yeah, because those phaser rifles are Star Trek 3, although they use them obviously later. But
they have different emitter tips, to be fair.
Yes.
For the same style, but they could just be. They're not supposed to be Klingon by no means, I don't think. Brian Straight puts in $5. Love how you can see the pyrotechnics lines in the wall before Yara and Worf fire at the phasers at it. Yeah. You can see a lot of that in different shows, though, where you see the bullet where the bullet's going to hit in the concrete wall before it hits. That's okay. Yeah, a fairly good battle. A lot of people getting zapped. And then he, of course, goes to fire and then falls down. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the second bit of the battle is reasonably lazy. Like, it's like, this is high action. No, it's not. Doesn't quite work. With just for Jameson. I mean, just his bit, Yeah. But
so they all beam out then, which brings me back to a minute ago. Was it Tasha that said we should beam into the other side instead of cutting through?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just beam them up through the wall or on the other side of the wall.
Mm-hmm. Just their lack of beaming in general. It's like they create a situation where they can and they just don't.
Yeah.
You got to be very careful with tech. You really have. So beam back. You get a really cool handheld shot of Picard as he goes in and out of a turbo lift. And he talks to the governor, who's like, there was an intruder in my caves, in my things. Was that you, Picard? He's like, yeah, obviously it was. Get me Jameson, beam him down now. And he's like, God damn it. Get a sick bay right now.
Yeah, he's critically ill. I don't believe you. Yeah. Then you get sick bay. And then while they're in sick bay, we get another message from him, from the bridge, that says, you have 10 minutes to beam him down. Or 5 minutes, sorry, or a hostage will be killed every 15 minutes after that, and it'll be excruciatingly painful.
Great. Thanks. Fun times. And guys, as I said, please do super chat your thoughts on this episode. We'd love to read out your comments, and to talk through fun things. So please do. We'd love your help and thoughts. 145 of you watching, 111 likes, which is awesome. But yeah, let us know what you think.
Yeah. So yeah, inform him that we're going to be beaming down in less than 5 minutes.
And they do.
That decision is made. Yeah. And I love how when Riker's talking to him, I hate Riker for doing this. Every time he talks in his communicator, it's like, hey, so Captain, who are you talking to? Why are you always looking up?
Where would you look?
On the planet, it makes a little bit of sense. You're looking sort of where the ship is. But when you're on the bridge, why are you like, I would just talk like everybody else does. Like, hey, how's it going? Yeah. But every time you see Riker, he does the, hey, how's it going? Yeah, so...
Sir, why does my neck hurt so much from communicating so much? Why?
Yeah, that's why his shoulder's always like this. My brother Steve and I used to make fun of Riker because he has the one shoulder up and he always like leads with it when he walks. And then he always does the look up and talk.
It's funny when I've done some phone calls, in like on the phone, and I like to walk when I do important phone calls just because it gets me moving a
I
little
do
bit.
too. I always pace when I'm on the phone.
But I find that I like look sort of forward, but I'm picturing the person I'm talking to, so I'm not in the room anymore. I'm on the call, but I still use the room space. So I'm sort of looking forward and passionately, like in my head, I'm trying to picture the. So yeah, I just look forward, don't look up.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, they beam down unarmed into a hostage situation. Good choice.
Yes.
Bit weird.
Yeah.
It's we've got to finish the
Well, this whole
the episode.
yeah, this whole thing is awful.
Whoa.
Who's this?
Okay. Oh
Yeah. Who's this? I want Jameson. This is Admiral Mark Jameson.
No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Then there's the whole Picard saying, you instead of using the weapons, you could have died for peace.
Yeah.
How much of those 40 years of civil wars are in your head?
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it. All of Jameson. Come on, it's your fault, dude. Come on.
And then Jameson stands up, and this acting from this actor's pretty good. Like, he looks like ass at the end here, but he's got to prove that he's Jameson. So he's like, there were only two of us in that meeting. And he's like, well, Jameson just told you this. I still don't believe you. Show me the scar.
Thank God.
There's the blood cut you gave me to seal our bargain. Oh my God, it is you. Because you can't fake scars in the future.
Thank God it didn't get healed from the
Exactly.
other drug he's
I thought
taking.
the same thing. I thought the same thing.
Like it can fix wrinkles and regrow and recolor your hair, but it can't fix one scar.
You can turn Kirk into a Romulan, but you can't put a scar on somebody temporarily.
Well, you can make Vok a bloody human, and he can't fix a scar. Yeah, you can't fake a scar. Terrible.
AC Costello puts in $2. Broke, but you guys make my day with these reviews. Thank you very much. You don't need to do that, but thank you. It's very appreciated.
And I hope these are enjoyable, and I hope you keep watching. We're almost into season 1. Thanks for enjoying. Thanks.
Yeah. And Jarzy again puts in $5 Canadian. Thank you. Riker is just trying to unkink his neck from all the times he leans forward, popping his leg up on consoles. Yeah, he's got some issues, man.
I love it.
The way he sits, the way he stands, the way he talks on the communicator, the way he walks.
Yeah. I love the Riker maneuver. It's legendary. So a couple of quick thoughts, jump back a second. I like a lot the map painting outside the window. I think that's really nicely done.
That whole wall, that window, and I think the matte painting is used again in Home Soil. The exact same.
Okay.
Just with, equipment put in that room.
But I think it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Give him credit for that. I find it very weird that Jameson now goes from being in every single scene, every single line, to like just I'm not in the, not blubbering idiot, but like too ill. It's weird sometimes to have that contextual shift. And we do jump through these hoops of he isn't, he is too many times. You're trying to it's a very quick ending, but it burns a lot of time on that one thing.
Yeah.
And last thing, he also shows the screen. It's a very advanced mobile computer interface with the screen that's the size of very not big, but it was advanced. Yeah. Even though it's a digitally added prop, it could have been any size.
And that reminds me, go back to when they first beam in.
Yes.
And you see that reverse shot with those birds.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
And how there's like a banner there. So like there must be a sensor thing.
Oh yeah.
No camera, but a sensor thing to like.
That's true.
Anyway, just so they can get it.
And that camera is really far away then. Like that's a really far away camera. It's a very weird lens because you can't make that shot work.
Yeah.
Not properly. The focusing doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and this little medical screen is odd. Like, you don't believe it's him? Look, we have stills of him.
On a diddly thing.
Really?
Because they can't be faked either.
No, not at all.
No, the entire scene is a bit dumb. He should have gone straight to, well, tell me something only Jameson would know. And then he stands up and says, I banged your daughter. What? I don't know. Something. In this room, and he gives him like detail only he would know. Like it should have been straight to that point. It shouldn't have been these other weird things.
Yeah,
it doesn't quite play. And then again, now we're gonna beam because he's dying.
Well, hold on. Yep. Just gonna get to that.
Okay, sorry.
This is where she says, "I can't stop his organs from regenerating. They're basically imploding." and I can't stop the pain. We should beam her in. Beam in the wife. Beam in Anne. So they beam Anne, a civilian, into a hostage situation where they shouldn't have beamed in the first place without being armed. This whole scene was like, really, this guy wants revenge on your husband. One of the best ways to get revenge on somebody is to murder someone very close to them.
Right in front of you, yeah.
Yeah, which I'm surprised he doesn't do. He's not that vindictive, I guess.
My wife died. I'll kill your wife.
Yeah.
And he walks in and takes the hit. That would,
There's no way she should be beaming in.
And consider this. At no point does Picard relay saying, Bilib, everything's fine here. Don't worry, we're not under gunpoint right now. You'd assume you walk in, there you're under gunpoint. You don't send a civilian in gunpoint. Just to watch him, it's a broken scene.
It's a wrap it up quickly scene.
Yes. It would have been better, much better, I think, if he had said, there never were any hostages. I just said that to get you here. Making the stakes not actually criminal, just lying dick.
Yes.
That would have changed it completely. And it's never really, like, you assume they are, and he says, oh, I'll cooperate. But it's a weird-ass hostage situation.
Yeah. They get the whole goodbye, Anne with the golden hair. Well, it's grey now. I only see the gold.
That's cute. I'll give him cute factor for that. That was nice.
That's fine. That's fine. But then it's like the other guy's like whole thing changes. Like, it's better to see you suffer like this, and that's my revenge. When he dies, it's like rest your long night, and mine are over. It's like, really.
Credibility just does this. Doop, 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 doop.
Yes.
No, it doesn't.
The hostage will be released immediately, Captain. I am agreeable and cooperative.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that ended us. But no, I mean, if you really want revenge on somebody that you've been pissed off at for 45 years, what better way to take it out on than he should have shot his wife while he was dying on the floor and she was over him. So she dies and lands on him, and that's the last thing he sees before he dies. Well, exactly what happened to Degra. When Degra died, they're like, we're going to kill your family.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing you heard. It's like, can you imagine dying to that?
No, I couldn't.
Yeah.
And honestly, Picard would learn a lesson not to let civilians go into a hostage situation.
Yeah.
Two quick notes. Give great credit, as you mentioned, but not specifically, the makeup on the dude, the red eyes, and the being soaked works really well. And his acting is bizarre, but it works tremendously well.
It's like, holy. Yeah. It's like he's having a seizure.
Like he's burning through his last energy is what I get from that. He's using everything.
Oh yeah.
And I was wrong. The phaser is a 3 phaser, so they haven't quite got to the assault phaser yet. 4 wasn't being filmed yet, so it's. But it's funny. He's got 2 little hand phasers, and for some reason he uses the phaser rifle, which seems weird to me. And he says, using one of the weapons that you gave us. So your soldiers still use guns you were given 40 years ago? That seems unrealistic. I know AK-47s can last for 50 years, but you would have reverse engineered these and did newer models, and you wouldn't give your main.
Assuming you have the technology and the
40 years though.
The infrastructure to build the alloys that they're created from. That's a whole industry.
40 years, and war. But the thing is, war was their industry, and war drives revolution.
It does. That's absolutely true. But if you don't have the technological advancement to create the alloys, or the factories to create the alloys,
But you would have made your own shittier versions, if that makes sense. And then.
Oh yeah.
I mean, whatever. I just think it's strange to give the foot soldiers that, and then he has one.
It's on his wall. It's one of his prized ones. It's like a collectible.
No, but I'm fine with him having it, just not his soldiers. They shouldn't still be using 40-year-old.
But do they have them?
Yeah. Remember we talked about the Klingon rifles being why they're using Klingon rifles.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying they should have used something else. He this is great for him to use it. Although big bulky's a small phaser, but I'm just saying he says like you gave us. So okay. Yeah, and he really should have killed the wife or shot him. Yeah, he goes from this tyrannical guy to, like you say, and now goodbye, fair prince. I loved you well. It's like you just what? I'll let you live with this for 13.5 seconds. My punishment is complete. I get all my satisfaction from those 13 seconds you were dying. It's like, he doesn't understand how to be a dickhead, does he? Like, he's a very bad, evil
Very
mastermind.
bad dickhead. He should become an admiral. Then he'd
Yes.
be a bigger dickhead. Yes.
Wow.
Fleet Pod Swiftback puts in $1.99.
Oh, thanks, man.
Phasers last as long as they're maintained. Yeah, and it's future tech, so I mean.
No, I wasn't saying that. I'm saying they would make new ones. They would develop, invent. They would, for the most modern military, they would not use 40-year-old. They would have newer, better, bigger, stronger. Even if they couldn't rebuild them, they would find something. They would use.
You gotta
something.
think that there was a tribe structure 40 years ago when his father was assassinated when Jameson first stepped in. So it's like small bands of rebels, different factions that have these weapons. It's not like it's a major, it's not like America or a superpower of some kind. These are still small bands that have these. And if you look at like any kind of mercenaries or any kind of smaller factions, they don't have the technology, they don't have the resources to actually create new weapons. They're still using old weapons. You can still use a World War II model 1911 handgun, a 45. You can still use that as long as it's maintained.
True, but a rifle's slightly different. You wouldn't use a bolt action, 6-magazine rifle. You wouldn't give that to your frontline militia when another faction could have an M60 machine gun because they developed it first. I'm just saying there's always going to be one scientist on each side taking it apart, taking one apart, reverse engineering it, finding a way. I like the fact that they're small factions that didn't have necessary resources. But in the same token, how many of these things would be destroyed over 40 years?
Well, you got to think too, maybe they gave them, instead of just weapons, they gave them replicator tech to create the weapons. Like a specific replicator that did weapons parts. So they were always revitalizing with new parts, also energizing the weapons because they'd be depleted of energy quite quickly.
Well, even more so,
Power
design
cells.
new things, especially if you can reverse engineer a replicator. I think that's probably one step too far for Jameson, because especially if these guys didn't even know what replicator was, you would introduce them to the tech to only avoid it.
I don't think they considered all this when they wrote this script.
No, I think we're going too far into it, and I didn't mean that much by. I'm just, it would be nice to see some other guns. Anyway, so they warp out basically, or they don't warp out, but they say they're going to warp out.
Well, they say the hostages have been freed, and
yes,
Jameson's body was buried on Morden by request of his wife.
Yes.
And then there's a whole thing about age and wisdom has its place, and can the youth appreciate that? I only hope so, Commander. Set course for ISIS 3. So dude has no repercussions from holding some Federation citizens hostage. It's just like, oh, I'm cooperative now. You can have him back. I was just using him temporarily, to get that guy here. I shouldn't be charged or, removed from power or anything. Again, quick wrap up just to say, hey, the episode's over now.
Pretty much.
And on that note, bye, guys.
Yeah.
We should do a quick wrap up and just end.
That was like 2 days ago when you had to go. But yeah, so there we go. That is the end of the episode. 155 people watching, 115 likes. Please do like if you like it. And so, Stuart, what is your overall bigger review, thoughts of this episode? And did our review together change your mind at all?
No.
Okay.
Still not a huge fan of this episode. It is better than I remember it being, and seeing it all in one cohesive piece, it's a good story. Just needs a lot of tweaking to really make it work better. I'll just continue. The only characters that really have anything in this episode are Picard and Beverly from the main cast. And again, like I said, this could be totally taken out of season 1. This never happened, and it wouldn't matter. Nothing's really learned, nothing's really gained.
That is most of them to some extent.
Yeah, but there's usually little character pieces that help the characters. This one was kind of like, So, I mean, yeah, Jameson, the actor, did a pretty great job with his dialogue. It was pretty much the Jameson show, as you said, and that's fine. It's a good standalone story. It's got its social commentary point across, parallels with what was going on in the world at the time and things like that. So that all works fine. But it's just, as a Star Trek episode, it's just kind of for me. I'm gonna have to give it, for all of season 1,
right,
going to give this maybe a 3.5 for all of TNG.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For all of TNG, it's going to drop down to probably a 2.
Hmm.
I mean, it's watchable, and it's one you can watch and not have to worry about. You know, it's a standalone one for sure, but you don't learn anything about any of the Enterprise crew, so it's just kind of its own piece on its own.
Which I think speaks to its TOS-ness.
Yeah,
TOS
exactly.
isn't about the crew. They really aren't characters. Sulu's not a character. Chekhov's not a character beyond a one trait or one line. And you still get Deanna's one trait. You still get, so it's very much a TOS episode in the guise of TNG, but doesn't quite fit the ensemble. Are you done? Shall I do my review strip?
Yeah, I am done. Go ahead.
Cool. No, I like this episode. I think it holds up pretty well because it's got an interesting story that is intriguing. The makeup's pretty good, if a bit cinema. It's not as realistic as it is cinema, but its quality is definitely there, and it holds up well to HD, even though, again, it looks a bit odd. Good to see the first Admiral's uniform. I think the pacing is actually pretty good considering, because it evolves at a steady pace where you're really brought in. If the actor was any less interesting as a performer, it wouldn't work as well. Kind of like, as I referred to before, the Orville episode with the guy that was the prisoner.
Yeah.
He wasn't the right casting. He didn't sell it, and the whole episode diminished. If this guy was in the role, that would have been a fun play. And he definitely, it's fun to see this guy de-age act. Because he has got alternating performances, and it'd be fun to watch it backwards and see the scenes if he looks, if he feels different the other way around. But yeah, I think this is very much like a draft 5, but draft 6 had to go to production. You need one more draft to refine the dialogue. Honestly, to remove some of the subplot, like some of the plot, because there's too much when it isn't going to go anywhere beyond this, which isn't often said. Have a bit more of a character, have a bit more of the other characters interacting, tell a story by actions sometimes would have been nice. Like, I don't know, Troy sensing that his brain isn't the same as it was from the start to the end of the episode. That would have been a fun line. Have Dan, have Beverly maybe find a cure, maybe a potential cure, but it would have, brought back his disease, and then he chooses, I don't want that disease, I'd rather die young. Maybe he has to spend like his last month on the planet, either stay 1 month as young or, live 10 years of disease. Something. It works the way it does, but I'm just saying you could have done a different way around it. But I think for TNG, this gets a solid 6.5 for TNG Season 1.
Really?
Yeah, it's well above average for me. The script's good, the acting's good, the story's good. It's not exceptional in any way, but it's well beyond average for me. But for all of Star Trek, though, all TNG, it does go down to like a 2.5. It's definitely below average for all of TNG, because a lot of TNG is really good. There's nothing that really pushes it for all of TNG, but for Season 1, it's pretty strong, I think. Just not in the grander scheme. Where late TNG, you get the whole crew sense. So guys, now is your chance to let us know what you think out of 10, both for TNG and for Season 1 of TNG. And what are people saying? Stuart.
It's okay. It's a 2.
Jeez.
TNG Season 1, 3. All of TNG, 2. Fleet Plus Flipback says 4 out of 10 for Season 1. 3 out of 10 for TNG. 6 for Season 1. 4 for TNG. C+. C-. 5 for the episode. Be careful scrolling through those pictures, by the way. When you scroll through the pictures, because we got a copyright claim on one of them, Angel 1, for that. It's like, because when you go through them at a certain speed, sometimes it looks like a video clip.
Well, ironically, if we said, excuse me, it isn't, they couldn't fight it because it isn't. But we're not like that. We're not going to ever. So yeah, that's why I've gone to just static.
Ooh. Next episode is When the Bow Breaks.
Yes.
Which I'm not looking forward to.
Is the one I don't remember, which is exciting.
It's like watching for the first time.
It will be.
And then you'll wish you never did.
Okay, good. I'm excited. Brandon D shares my enthusiasm. Yay. And Ryan also, 5 out of 10. And Jay Donaldson, yay, you're all on my side. But I feel like, Stuart, we'll peel more on your side. Not that they have sides, but I feel more side with you on this one.
Hashtag Team Captain Foley. Hashtag Team Samuel Calkins. Or Commander Calkins. Eugene puts in 500 rubles
Hi, Eugene.
and says 3.6, not great, not terrible. Sorry, solid 5 out of 10 episode.
Yeah. This one, I think, was a really solid premise.
Yeah, it just wasn't executed as well as it could have been, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's funny, not for lack of pieces. It's weaker than some of its pieces, because the Admiral was good casting, the baddie was good casting, the wife was very good casting. You know what I mean? It's just... Yeah. But if I did say, though, they were trying to keep it cheaper, would that make sense to you, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's weird, the use of extras, like you said. It's like, yeah, we don't need the rest of the cast. We don't need to pay them. So let's get a few extras in. You want to be in an episode? Put on a uniform. Let's get in here. Get some of the cast in there. Or the crew, sorry.
Yeah. Cool. So there you go, guys. Episode 16. We are running right through. We've got San Diego Comic-Con coming up really soon. And we're going to have some more Picard news.
Yes.
Stuart will do first reaction. And I will do... I will come back and we'll do some breakdown. We'll look at the pictures and the analysis, and that'll be exciting. Yeah. Hopefully we get a ship. We have another video come out this week, hopefully about that.
That would be nice.
For that. And guys, as we did say about the Indiegogo, we're doing well, but not necessarily well enough for the entire set of trips. We've still got a full solid week, so I'm not worried. We've done great so far, but 7 days left. 52%. I'd love to see us hit at least 75%. I think is a good number. I think we're going to add at least one more perk before the end of the campaign. But you know, if you want the stuff while it lasts, please do get it. And as we said before, this campaign, we might not do other campaigns like that, but freebies will come in if you get more than one print. So do consider it, and especially things like the Michael and Denise Enterprise D print, ridiculously limited. You know, we were very lucky to get those. Bruce Boxleitner again, very cool. You know, lots of really cool things, and yeah, help us go to Vegas this year and do fan meetups and lives from there. Where you know, again, as I said to you, if there's news, I mean, we'll actually be a bit annoying, but like actually, like how our phone's recording when there's like if there's a trailer for Picard, suddenly you record and you record my face, I record your face. It's like our first reaction to see the trailer in Vegas. You know, just like. Or like, we just saw it 1 second ago, Stuart. We're still in the audience. Like, not release it live. I just mean like as a video, you know, to release later. Like, Stuart, we just saw it. Would be fun. So we'll do cool stuff then. October. Hopefully, if we get the money, you're going to come to England destination. We'll do some videos here together. It'd be great. You get to see the studio here. It's in my office. And in November, we've got a film shoot in the Georgia TOS set. So very excited about that. Lots of plans if you help us get there, guys. We'll definitely need more funds than we have now. So if you can, please do get Indiegogo. There is so much cool stuff there. Yeah.
Yes. And no live tomorrow, but we will have another live on Wednesday. Probably be another episode review.
Yes.
Might have one on Thursday. Maybe. We'll see. We're not sure about the rest of the week, but tomorrow is definitely no-go for me. So.
Yeah, not Tuesday or Friday, so...
Yeah, yeah. Probably Wednesday. Well, Wednesday for sure. Thursday's still questionable. So yeah, make sure you check out the Facebook group for any notifications. Plus, just hit the notification icon. You'll get notified of our lives on there. They have been pretty good about sending out notifications lately. YouTube seems to be getting better, so that's good. So just stay tuned, guys, for any more lives that we're going to be doing. But yes, definitely Wednesday is the next one.
So basically, see you then.
That's right. So until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley.
And I'm Connor Huggins. Bye.
Bye.